Guys, welcome to my channel. Today, i-review natin itong bagong-bagong 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. At ang una mong mapapansin, yung kanyang kakaibang design. Now, it's more boxy, which is a radical departure from the Hyundai Santa Fe na medyo shapely o bilugan. So, para siyang may vibe ng Land Rover. Tamang-tama naman napadaan tayo dito sa Hyundai Makati at kumpleto meron sila ng tatlong variants. Itong puti yung base variant na GLS 2-wheel drive at ang presyo niya is 2,410,000. At ito namang kulay na earthy brass is yung mid variant na GLS na all-wheel drive naman. So ang presyo niya is 2,540,000 pesos. At yung pinakamahal na calligraphy na all-wheel drive, ang presyo niya is 3,100,000 pesos. So, mas mahal siya ng 690,000 pesos from the base model. Okay, let's focus dito sa top of the line calligraphy variant. As I said, may pagka-boxy ang design niya which is similar to a Land Rover. Meron siyang unique Hyundai identity doon sa kanyang ilaw na letter H. Yan ang kanyang identity. Yung headlamp niya meron siyang wide projection LED with low beam assist. Yung grille design niya is also different doon sa base model at saka doon sa mid variant. Makikita nyo rin dito sa bumper, meron siyang 4 sensors. Gusto ko yung harap niya kasi medyo squarish yung design. So, hindi siya parang madaling maluma. And once you open the engine, nag-o-open itong parang vent dito sa harap para sa cooling function. Umiilaw din yung horizontal light across the grille para magmukhang letter H. Maraming H dito. In fact, yung headlight, makita mo, design na letter H. Wala din siyang fog light kasi enough na yung illumination na ibinibigay ng headlight. Actually, ang laki niya. Compared dun sa previous Santa Fe, mas mahaba siya ng 45mm. Kasi yung wheelbase niya, mas mahaba rin ng 50mm. And it's also taller by 10mm. But I noticed doon na mababa yung kanyang ground clearance. It's only 177mm. And what I like also is yung shape ng kanyang fender flare na medyo may pagka-boxy din. Tapos manipis lang siya and it's body colored. Guys, ang ganda rin ng mags, parang aftermarket. It's 21 inches, 245/45 series. If you look at the side, it's very boxy. It's a reminiscence of a Range Rover or a Land Rover. To me, mas maganda siya kung mas mataas yung ground clearance. At okay din naman na mababa ang ground clearance for better handling and stability. Napansin ko lang sa mga bagong vehicles ngayon, medyo nauuso na uli yung mga boxy designs. Like yung Rangers, Everest, yung Jimny, LC300, which to me brings back the reminiscence of old school look, which actually makes the car look timeless in a way. At pagdating naman dito sa may roof part, meron din siyang roof rail na nakaangat dun sa roof. So, marami kang pwedeng i-attach if you're going outdoors. Meron din siyang hidden type assist handle. Yan, pag tinulak mo yan, pwede mong hawakan yan para ma-assist ka kung aakyat ka pag tumungtong ka dun sa gulong. Napansin ko din yung ilalim ng fender is covered with a carpet type material for insulation purposes. At punta naman tayo dito sa controversial na design part ng Santa Fe, which is the back. Because of the placement of the rear tail lights, for others, nagmumukha siyang awkward. But actually, in person, it kind of works. Hindi lang siya ganun kaganda in pictures or videos, but in person, okay naman siya. At yung taillight nga pala niya, extends hanggang dun sa side ng sasakyan at meron din siyang H pattern. And then meron din siyang reflector and rear fog lamps dito sa lower bumper. Plus, there's a nice tailpipe finisher. And also, if you look underneath, makikita mo yung suspension niya is independent. At meron pa siyang self-leveling function. Okay, check natin yung interior. In terms of design, na-emphasize din yung horizontal and vertical design attributes na parang mini-mirror niya yung tone and mood ng exterior, which is really nice. So, merong harmony yung exterior at saka yung interior design. The materials used are quite good. Merong mga soft leather at saka yung seats niya, meron siyang memory function. Ang unique dito, meron siyang tinatawag na power relaxation seats na made of Nappa leather, both dun sa driver and passenger side. Yan para kang naka-lazy boy chair. So, you can recline tapos may support yung iyong legs kung halimbawa maghihintay ka sa isang parking area. So, okay na okay to. Very relaxing. At bukod sa meron siyang lumbar support, you can easily adjust yung kanyang seats kasi it's power operated. You can adjust it, you can make it higher or you can make it lower according to your driving position, which is automatically adjusted. Yung design ng steering niya is para ding Range Rover yung vibe. Meron din siyang mood lighting na naka-horizontal at saka naka-vertical. And of course, the steering wheel can be tilted and it's also telescopic. At andito yung button for the parking brake, traction control, at yung button for the power tailgate sa likod. At meron din ditong fingerprint sensor sa memory seats. At meron siyang panoramic curved display. Parang kinukumbay niya yung cluster at saka yung audio-video navigation system into one sleek and seamless unit. So, more focus ka if you're driving. And of course, meron din siyang steering controls for hands-free function, controlling the instrument cluster, at saka yung sa cruise control. At nagustuhan ko din yung design ng dashboard niya at yung quality ng materials used. At meron din siyang dual zone climate control. At yung drive terrain function, dito rin makikita. At nandito rin yung sa hill descent control, 360 camera, at saka yung sa parking sensor. At ang maganda dito, dalawa yung kanyang remote charging port, which is actually unique. And then if you press this button, mag-o-open yung kanyang sterilization tray. So, pwede kang mag-sterilize, for example, yung cellphone o kaya yung wallet mo. At dito sa loob ng glove compartment, meron ka pang isang section dito where you can put your cellphone, for example. And then dito sa center console, meron kang dalawang Type-C na USB port. At yung shift lever niya is naiiba. Nakamount siya dito sa steering column. So, pag makakambyo ka, dito mo siya gagalawin. Wala na siya dito sa center console. So, na-free up yung space dito sa center console. At meron ding buttons dito sa side para sa adjustment ng seats. So, if you are a rear passenger, you can just press this button para ma-move mo yung front seats nung nasa harap mo. And meron ding USB port dun sa side ng seat. And also, tinry din nating makita yung 360 cam. As you can see, very high resolution yung mga cameras niya. Unlike the other brands na very cheap and low yung resolution. And so you can check the surround view of the vehicle in 3D. Just like some of the Chinese cars in our market today. At dito sa ilalim ng center armrest, meron siyang malalim na compartment. Actually, malalim talaga siya. Look at my arm. Almost sinakop na niya. And then meron kang divider dito. So, marami ka talagang pwedeng malagay dito kasi malalim talaga siya. And you can also open the cover sa front saka sa back. So, pwede mo siyang buksan dun sa harap saka dun sa likod. At dito sa ilalim ng center console, meron ka pa ring lalagyan dito sa ilalim. Nandito rin sa ilalim yung 12-volt socket. Okay, check natin yung ceiling area. Meron siya ditong overhead console lamp na LED. Yung sun visor, merong vanity mirror, tapos meron siyang illumination dun sa itaas. Meron din siyang sunroof na located dito sa may front area, saka dun sa may rear passenger area. It can be controlled here. Meron siyang switch. Yun nga palang overhead console lamp dito na LED. can be controlled using your fingers. So, touch sensitive siya, which is very different. Okay, let's check the second row seat. Dito sa door, meron siyang parang curtain. Yan, pwede mong itaas para hindi ka mainitan. Meron dalawang cup holder dito sa bandang itaas at dun sa lower portion, merong bottle holder. Okay, let's check the seats dito sa second row. Napansin ko dito, very high quality yung material ng seats kasi napa-leather seat siya. Actually, yung leather quality at yung mga plastics used reminds me of a Mazda vehicle. At even yung headliner at saka yung side panels niya is covered with suede material. At meron ding malaking compartment dito sa likod ng center console which you can pull para makapaglagay ka ng iyong mga gamit. Meron din siyang Type-C USB port dito sa sandalan ng driver side saka dito sa may passenger side. In addition, meron siyang parang magazine rack dito sa likod ng upuan. Okay, subukan naman natin itong upuan. Maganda yung bolstering tapos adequate yung thigh support. Malaki din yung space dito sa likod at ang maganda dito, you can also adjust itong rear seat kasi pwede siyang mag-slide front and back. Yun nga palang aircon vent niya nandito sa B-pillar, wala dun sa baba. Meron din siyang center armrest with dalawang cup holders. Okay, check natin yung third row. Pag pinus mo yung button, mag-i-slide yung seat para makapasok ka dito sa third row. Katamtaman lang dito sa third row kasi pwede mo namang i-adjust yung second row seat para magkaroon ka ng better leg room. So pag hinila ko itong sandalan sa second row, ganyan yung itsura ng seating position mo. Okay, buksan natin yung likod. Power tailgate siya. At ang mapapansin mo dito is very spacious yung likod niya. Meron din siyang USB port dito sa side, merong aircon vent, and then you can control the aircon using this switch. At meron din siyang tigalawang cup holders, left and right. At dito sa taas, merong light siya for illumination. Yung third row seat, pwede mong i-fold flat. At yung second row seat can be controlled through the buttons here. So, pag pinindot mo yung mga button dito, magpa-flat yung second row seat. Dito naman sa likod ng third row seat, may maliit na compartment dito. Yan. Pwede mo pa siyang lagyan ng mga gamit. Okay, check natin yung engine. Ang engine niya is 2.5 liter na turbocharged. It delivers 281 PS at 5,800 RPM. Ang torque niya is 422 Nm. So, malakas. Ang transmission niya is 8-speed dual clutch transmission or DCT. While yung engine naman nung GLS na mid variant saka yung lower variant is 2.5 liter din sila with 8-speed automatic transmission. But ang power nun is mas mababa, 194 horsepower lang at saka 246 Nm of torque. Okay, silipin naman natin yung base model. Ito yung kulay white. Iba na yung design ng kanyang mag wheels at saka size 20 na yung gulong. Iba na rin yung design ng kanyang grille. Although yung kanyang headlight, nandun pa rin yung letter H. Sa interior, pareho rin yung design. Pero yung mga materials na ginamit is different. Yung leather seats niya is hindi siya napa-leather. Pero, leather seats pa din naman. Yung mga H signature elements nandun pa rin. Meron din siyang panoramic curved display. For the most part, hindi mo siya aakalain na base model. Kasi yung mga features ng top of the line, nandito pa rin. Power seats din yun sa driver seat. Although, iba lang yung trimmings dito sa door panels. At dito sa second row seat, pareho din lang yung amenities niya. Yun nga lang, sinabi ko kanina, hindi siya napa-leather. Meron din siyang curtain shades dito sa windows. At ang kagandahan nito, niretain pa rin niya yung dual sunroof. At ang naiba lang yung headliner, hindi na siya kulay black. So, kompleto din. Pag tinignan mo yung third row, ganun din yung mga design elements. Meron pa ding USB port, tapos meron pa ding aircon vent, at yung third row seats, pareho din lang na ipo-fold mo din. You can also fold yung second row seat by using the remote switch. So, ganyan ang itsura pagka naka-fold na yung second row at saka third row seat. Malaki na yung kanyang space, marami na siyang cargo space. And of course, sa engine lang nagkaiba kasi 194 PS na lang ito as against the 281 nung top of the line model. And ito naman yung mid variant. Again, iba rin yung design ng kanyang grille. But if you look inside, pareho din lang siya nung sa base model. Ang main difference nitong mid variant is all-wheel drive siya, while yung entry level is two-wheel drive lang. At wala din nga palang power relaxation seat itong mid variant saka itong base variant. So, purely loaded na rin itong mid variant. Almost the same na rin siya nung top of the line except nga yung mga materials na ginamit is mas lower level. But in terms of safety features, pareho lang sila. Lahat ng variants, merong adaptive cruise control, merong forward collision assist, merong lane following assist, lane keeping assist, blind spot view monitor, meron din siyang collision avoidance assist, parking distance warning, manual speed limit, at saka yung rear occupant alert. Meron din siyang 360 cam, ABS, and hill start assist. Okay, let's summarize. Overall, this vehicle is well equipped. It's a huge step up from the previous model in terms of quality, design, and overall character. For me, yung interior niya is one of the positive things about the vehicle. Since marami siyang features and storages na hindi naiisip ng ibang car manufacturers. And very ergonomic yung pagkakadesign ng cabin niya. At yung interior niya reminds me of the Land Rover Defender na medyo mas modern yung take. And if you see the interior in person, you will really feel the high quality materials used in the cabin. And when it comes to the powertrain, the engine produces enough power to propel this vehicle. At kahit yung naturally aspirated engine dun sa base model, enough pa rin yung power. And connected dun sa engine is yung 8-speed DCT, which is better than the CVT. At yun lang, in most DCTs, in stop-and-go traffic, may konting jerkiness na mararamdaman siya for sure. But overall, it's a good powertrain naman. And pagdating naman sa amenities and safety features, hindi naman tinipid across the range. And yung sa top of the line na 3.1 million price, it might be steep for some, but for those who can afford it, it's a good package naman. Siguro ang pinaka-worry ko lang dito yung ground clearance niya. Kasi na-advertise din ni Hyundai ito na outdoor or recreational vehicle. But given this ground clearance, I think mahihirapan siya sa mga off-road trails na medyo technical na. But other than that, wala na ako nakikitang negative, but it can be good also for urban setting. But if you will ask me, I will choose the base variant na 2.4 million. Mas makakatipid ako ng malaki. At nandun pa rin yung mga features na basic na meron doon sa high-end variant. And if you need an all-wheel drive system, the mid-variant GLS is good enough. But knowing the target market of this car, ang pipiliin pa rin nila yung top-of-the-line variant. So in short, this vehicle is still a value for money. Although medyo maapektuhan ng sales niya kasi gasoline engine siya. But if you want to experience a more premium feel and sophisticated car, then this can be a good choice than the common PPVs or SUVs. And when it comes to reliability, okay naman ang Hyundai compared sa mga Chinese cars. Okay, hanggang dito na lang. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you again in my next vlog. Bye!